12 past the hour tomorrow, lawyers in former President Donald Trump's hush money case will deliver their closing arguments. This is each side's opportunity to summarize what they have presented over the past several weeks and their really last chance to convince jurors they have proved their case. With us now to talk more about this, NBC News reporter Gary Grumbach, who has been part of the NBC team covering the trial from inside the courthouse. And Gary, just extraordinary work always. Also with us, Misty Maris, a defense attorney, and Kristen Gibbons-Fedden, a former prosecutor and civil rights attorney whose closing arguments in the Bill Cosby trial won her wide acclaim. She is also an MSNBC legal analyst. So, Gary, how can we be expecting things to unfold tomorrow?
So, Jose, I would look at this as a spark notes of the entire trial. We're not going to learn anything new tomorrow, but it's going to be a nice recap for the jury of the past 7 weeks of what happened every week and through every witness of this trial. It's going to start with defense attorney Todd Blanche. He's going to get up and he's going to explain to the jury that he believes the government has not met their burden of proof, which is beyond a reasonable doubt that Donald Trump has committed these 34 counts of falsification of business records. He's going to go through and likely focus on witness Michael Cohen, who has his own financial and untruths that he actually went to prison for separately from this whole case. So that's what the defense is going to do. That'll take likely several hours throughout the day tomorrow. Then Joshua Steinglass, the prosecution, is going to get up and he's going to explain witness by witness and take the jurors step by step why he believes they indeed have met their burden of proof. He's going to likely bring up evidence. He's going to bring up some of the witness statements, including from David Pecker, who laid out everything quite nicely as the first witness to take the stand in this trial. So that's going to happen. And then the case goes in the hands after some jury instructions on Wednesday. The case is going to be in the hands of the jury starting, we believe, probably Wednesday morning. And at that point, we'll see what happens in terms of how long it takes the jury to deliberate. Jose?
So, Kristen, if you're the prosecution in this case, what are you going to be focusing on?
I'm going to be focusing on a couple of things. Jose, when you're looking at a closing argument, you got to remember that for the prosecution at the very least, and really for both attorneys, this is going to be the courtroom's kind of final act. That's their last opportunity to really show the jury how the law that the court will instruct them on is actually in harmony with the actual evidence. And we really want to aim to leave the jury with that lasting impression and really a clear path to the verdict. So as the prosecution, I'm going to let the jury know this is a straightforward crime, but with a complex narrative. I'm going to dumb down that narrative so that they can then later recite it in the deliberation room to the other fellow jurors so that they can bring home a guilty verdict. I'm going to show that Trump knowingly caused false entries in business records, right? I'm going to point to those invoices from February 2017. I'm going to point to McConey's handwritten notes that show the plan to label those $35,000 payments to Cohen as retainer fees and show that there was a deliberate pre-planned scheme to create these false records. I'm going to show to that $420,000, which included the $130,000 of hush money that was doubled to cover taxes, and show how these payments were categorized as legal expenses based on a retainer, but that they know that that is not true. I'm going to point to that company rule that they heard from the evidence to show that Trump had to sign off on any payment that was more than $10,000, which was one of the reasons that Trump had to be involved with the Cohen reimbursement scheme. And then I'm going to show that Trump did so knowingly and with the intent to commit a crime. So I'm going to stress those jury instructions with the requisite intent to prove that falsification of business records. And I'm also going to spend some time dismantling the defenses that the jury had just heard. And then at the end, I'm going to say with conviction, bring home a guilty verdict to all of the charges.
All right, Misty, you're a top defense lawyer. Represent Donald Trump on this show. What are you going to be focusing on?
I am going to focus solely on Michael Cohen because there's going to be a jury instruction that will say if you think Michael Cohen lied about one thing, one material fact, you can scrap his entire testimony. And so from the defense perspective, if you can get one juror to decide that Michael Cohen is not a credible witness and scrap his testimony, then the prosecution's case really falls apart. So I'm going to focus on that from a defense perspective. And I'm also going to focus on one thing that came out during Michael Cohen's testimony that I think is very, very impactful to jurors who live and work in New York City. He stole $60 $400,000 right under the nose of the Trump Organization. A payment that was part of the $420,000 that is central to this case. And I'm going to say, from a defense perspective, if he could steal that, how close was Donald Trump to actually knowing and accounting for every dollar that came and went out of the organization? So Michael Cohen's testimony is going to be a primary focus in the closing argument. Another piece of that is going to be hush money is not illegal on its face. And so from the defense perspective, you're going to argue that the hush money payment is not illegal and therefore does not fulfill the prosecution's burden of being a predicate crime. So those are going to be the two primary factors the defense is going to focus on. But boy, I love that SparkNotes analogy that Gary made, because it's really true. The closing arguments are going to try and tie everything together in a very succinct and impactful way.
Gary, you've covered this trial every single day. What's the thing that has most stood out to you?
You know, I think as journalists, we get jaded with our access to the courtroom. Something that's really interested in me is who is showing up to court every day, besides the supporters of former President Trump in terms of the elected officials, but the regular everyday Americans that are, as we speak right now, standing in line outside of 100 Center Street, waiting to get in tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. And there's been dozens and dozens over the past few weeks, some of them retired folks that were just in town in New York City, some of them high school students that had the day off from school and that were able to watch and see history in the making. Jose?
So Gary, there are people waiting in line today for tomorrow. I mean, this is like, and this is not a Taylor Swift concert.
This is no Taylor Swift, but they were actually in line on Sunday morning, according to our cameras that were there.
Gary Grumbach, Misty Maris, and Kristen Gibbons-Fedden, thank you so much. I'm sure we'll be talking to you all so much this week. Appreciate it.